Hi, this is Eric with Snow Family Racing. Today we're going to be working on a little bit more ATV stuff. You may remember the Yamaha Moto 4, that pit vehicle that we replaced the stator on a little while ago. I've got a voltage regulator. We're going to work on replacing that today. That'll basically give this beast a whole new charging system. This voltage regulator came from RM Stator. Let's see here. Part number SF. I'll roll that into the camera so you can see it. And that's a whole brand new voltage regulator for this guy. I had to refer to the repair manual to find where the voltage regulator was hiding at, and turns out it's under the plastic all the way at the back behind the seat. So we're going to take the rear carrier off. We're going to loosen up the fender a little bit. We're going to take and get to the voltage regulator. I'll show you some of that as we go along. Thanks for watching. So as I mentioned before, we're using all RM Stator parts on this. RM Stator has really made some beautiful parts for this. The voltage regulator and all the other electronics I've used from them have been top-notch stuff. Just for your reference, this is what the voltage regulator looks like. Now, easy thing, take the seat off. Rear carrier comes off with mostly 8 and 10 millimeter screws, nuts, bolts, hardware, and it should be right here under the M and the A in Yamaha. So we're going to loosen up the plastic a little bit and see if we can just slide in and take the voltage regulator out. The repair manual says take it all off. I think we can get to it a little easier. I'll show you all that as we get there. Thanks. Okay, just so that way we all know where we're going, I've taken the two bolts out of here, out of the back of the carrier. They are 10 millimeter. While you still have the 10 millimeter out, you might want to take these guys out. I believe they are 10s. Let's double check real quick. Yep, they're 10 millimeter. And the rear carrier rack is also held on down here by another 12 millimeter bolt. So there's one of those 12 millimeters on each side. Take those free and the carrier will come off, and then you should have enough room to get under the plastic. Show you when we get there. Okay, rear carrier is off. Just got it set aside safely. Got those handful of 10 millimeters. Now the last things to take off is this Phillips head screw there and there. And point and look all at the same time. The other option you have is you could take the chrome bar off. I think it's going to be easier for me to leave the chrome bar in place. I'm going to take those two Phillips head screws out, and up under the edge, you can kind of see where we're headed. So we're going to pop those screws out. Check back with you in a minute. Quick technical note, little Phillips head screws are backed up by an 8 millimeter nut on the back side of all the plastic. Now it does take 2 more screws to get the plastic off. There's one on that side. This one is missing that one, but the threads are mangled and that screw doesn't want to move. So it is really easy to take the rear plastic off of this. So given that, we're just going to wrestle with the plastic a little bit. Come on. We're going to move it up out of the way. There's our voltage regulator, upside down, right there. So we're going to move the plastic. It looks like those are 10 millimeter screws, and the connector is right there. Now the RM Stator components are really nice because not only do they give you the part that you're looking for, they also give you the connector on the bike side in the event that the one that's there is destroyed or you can't get it apart, or for some reason the connections are bad. So I'm not going to replace that connection on this. I don't think it needs it, but I'm going to move the plastic. 10 millimeter screws, pop the connector apart. Okay, item of note. This on the right, obviously because it's dirty, is the original voltage regulator. The one on the left is the new RM Stator voltage regulator. Now, I did a little bit of research and found that there are no direct bolt-in voltage regulators that use the original hardware. Every voltage regulator for these fits a range of years. I want to say it's like 85 to 96 or so. All the voltage regulators for this one are this shape and do not mount in the same location. So my fix is to basically have this guy mount in the correct, factory location, but I'm going to put a couple of new holes in the bracket and mount it, in the factory location, largely the factory style. Drill a couple of holes, one here, one over on this side. I'll mark that all up and show you when it's done. Now, you have to source your own hardware. I've got quarter 20s and a lot of SAE stuff all over the place. I'm just going to use quarter 20s to mount this up. If you're a purist, by all means feel free to use the correct sized metric equivalent with a 10 millimeter head, since everything else is 10 millimeter. I've got quarter 20s. I'm going to use quarter 20s. So I'm going to get this marked up, drill a couple of new holes, get some hardware, and get this guy mounted up. All right, so I've got the voltage regulator mounted, 2 bolts, plugged in, routed nice and clean. I did test it and run it just to make sure we're getting good voltage. We're getting high 13s, bottom 14 voltage, right where it needs to be. Now for the easy part, putting it all back together, reverse the disassembly. Put the plastic back on, put the screws back in, Phillips head, rack goes on, the couple of 10 millimeter bolts up there, seat goes back on, the rack, yeah, pretty easy. I'll catch up when I'm done with that. All right, as you can see, we're back together. Really not a hard job. I think you could do it in under an hour without pushing too hard. The biggest part was I think I spent more time running around chasing tools than anything else. Just mounted up the new voltage regulator, a couple of holes, and everything went together real nice. I'm very pleased with the voltage that it's providing. I'm going to take it for a quick drive. Should be just fine. If you like what you see, like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram at Snow Family Racing. There I've got all my race car content, plus any of the other fixing I do on ATVs and my own equipment. So yeah, stay tuned. Thanks for watching.